I was playing Anthem last night and I got my first ever legendary drop. When I saw it and realised it's the Elemental Rage, which is exactly the same as the Masterwork, with the same buff, nothing really different about the gun, no different skin or anything, I sat there for half an hour writing out a commentary to give the game a load of abuse. But looking back at the commentary, I realised there is no point. One thing I've learnt over the last month or so on YouTube, the biggest thing I've learnt from it, is nobody gives a shit if you have a negative opinion on a game. And that is exactly why this video has the title, Why Does Everybody Hate Anthem? I was going to do it, Anthem has so many bugs, blah blah blah, this game's going to die, no, but I'm not. The main reason I'm not going to do that is because I enjoy the game. No matter what is wrong with it, I have fun when I play the game. I'm not going to lie and mislead people to think that the game is amazing. It is amazing, but it has its problems. For a start, we were shown a trailer of in-game footage that isn't actually in the game. Then you have server problems, which wasn't BioWare's fault, it was EA's fault. We actually waited 11 hours to play the first demo that dropped, but we eventually got to get on and play the game. Then with the full release, they did a day one patch to fix a lot of the problems, but with that come more problems, like the first stronghold wasn't working. They fixed that, but now the second and the third one aren't working. But if you can look past all of that, you will have fun if you play this game. There is no question about it. If you enjoy looter shooters, if you like the concept of the game, you will definitely enjoy your time. I've probably put about, I'm going to say about 80 hours into this game now. I've done a hell of a lot of grinding. I've played Grandmaster 1, Grandmaster 2. I played about 5 minutes of Grandmaster 3 until the server shut down during the free play that I was in. And yes, the missions can be very repetitive. There's only really two objectives to them. You're either defending some certain point, or you're out collecting runes, fragments and echoes. But there's different enemies, the scenery is beautiful, there's a lot of depth to the customization of your javelins, there's a hell of a lot of hours worth of gameplay. The story, I wouldn't say the story's incredible, but along the way, you do get to experience some new things. I'm not going to mention what those new things are, in case you haven't done it yet. During my hours of playing, I've gone all the way from level 1 to level 30, which is the max level. I put playtime into 3 of the 4 javelins. I'm yet to use Colossus. I've only played about 10-15 minutes with Interceptor. I started the game off using Ranger as my main. I've now switched that up to Storm, because Storm is more ability based and I wanted to try out different abilities instead of relying on my weapons all the time with the Ranger. You can do different builds, you can have it like a grenade build with the Ranger. There's a lot of different stuff you can do to mix up the gameplay. And yes, you've only got the story missions, then you get some contracts and stuff, legendary contracts. You've got free play, quick play, strongholds. But the game has only just released. You can't expect the game to have everything that could possibly ever go into it at the start of the game. Cataclysms, in the original roadmap, a lot of people were led to believe that they were coming out in March. Then BioWare released a more detailed roadmap for the next 90 days, and people found out that Cataclysms aren't releasing until May. But in the time up until then, you have a lot of grinding to do, because 12 hours worth of gameplay netted me 1 legendary and 2 masterworks. You have 11 different slots on your javelin to have gear. You've got 6 components, you get 3 abilities, then you have 2 weapon slots. That's 11 in total, and to get all of them legendary is going to take you a lot of time. In March, we have new items and stuff coming. In April, I think there's even more coming. Then in May, we have the Cataclysms. So if you're not having fun, you feel you've done all the grinding there is to do, which I highly doubt you have, because even once you've got all masterworks and legendaries, you still have god roll inscriptions that you need to try and work towards. And by the time you're done getting masterworks, if you're not that excited about the legendaries, getting the elemental rage, all the weapons are exactly the same in legendary form as they are masterwork. So if you're not that excited to get the extra 2 power or the little bit of damage boost, because the buffs are exactly the same, work on getting different guns, getting all the materials to craft them, and just switch it up. Try a different javelin, even if you don't like the look of, say, the Interceptor, just give it a go. Because after a couple of hours, you'll slowly start getting used to how that javelin works, and you never know, it could become your main for the future when more content drops for the game. And as I was saying, if you don't like the legendaries, just work with the masterworks. Go out, get the embers, do the crafting, get god rolls, really good inscriptions, because chances are, when they add more content in, you're going to need to be a high level for it. I think Cataclysms are like an event you can do. They're like a super world event or something. And if they are, Grandmaster 3 recommends that you're above 500 power level. At the minute, from my calculations, not sure if this is 100% accurate, the max power level you can be is 517. So in March, you've got content coming out, new items, they might increase the maximum power level. Then in April, the same thing could happen again. So eventually we could get to like 600 power level. And if you've given up on the game, or you haven't even played it yet because fuck EA, they're full of microtransactions and all this shit, blah blah blah, then when all that stuff drops, you're not going to be able to do it. Like all the stuff you want, like say you really, really want Cataclysms, you don't want to play the game until then, when they drop, you might not be able to do them straight away. You might have to grind through everything that you haven't done yet, because you're stuck in the element of hating against the game. As I've said, BioWare have a lot of work to do. The game has only just released, they have as much time as they want, as much time as they need to get stuff out, fix problems, so on and so forth. I've actually encountered a bug where my audio completely cuts out, there's no game sound at all, and when I'm in a party with my mates, they all sound like robots. They go really quiet and their voices go robotic. Instead of sitting there whinging about it and saying, oh screw this game, the audio's not working, blah 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 blah, all I have to do is restart the game, launch back into the game, problem solved. There's even missions that don't work properly. It takes like 5 minutes for the game to catch up, but eventually, after those 5 minutes, you're back and playing. Yes, there's a lot of loading screens. If you go directly to your forge from the end of an expedition, you're going to encounter 4 loading screens to go into the next mission. But for what the gameplay has, even though there could be more in it, whatever you want to say about it, the game is a hell of a lot of fun. So I'm going to wrap the video up there. I've been talking for a little while. I just want to know why everybody hates Anthem. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I will be back shortly with some more builds and stuff. Currently, I've done an early game Ranger build, which could have been a much better video. And then I've also done what I call the Shield Ruiner Ranger build because of the weapons I had. But I still have a lot of Masterworks and Legendaries to find. I still have a lot of power level to boost. And there's still a lot more for me to do in general. But when I find certain guns that I think are really good, different abilities that I find in Masterwork, I will bring you guys videos. I will show you how it works. I will help you out with deciding what you want to use on your Javelin. But for now, that's me done. I hope you guys see my point of view. I'm not hating against anyone that hates on Anthem. I'm just saying that I've been really negative in the last month about games when I really have no right to. Developers work their asses off to make games as enjoyable as possible, and yes, they might not be polished, finished products that get released, and certain platforms might get early access to content, and even PC players got an entire week ahead of Xbox and PS4 to play the game if they have Origin Premier. Yes, you can complain about that, but if you think about it, people are paying, I think it's like 15 or 16 quid a month or £90 a year just to have that access. So they're not getting it for free, there's no bonuses or anything like that. They're getting what they pay for. So let me know your opinions and your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.